We're on week 1 this morning with Brian McKenna, the Technical Support Supervisor with Sound Concepts, the company that's partnered with Nu Skin for developing this system for you guys. What we'll be going through in week 1's training this morning is we're going to talk about how to set up your website, how to make sure that everything is set up for contacts and prospects to contact you, as well as everything is set up for you to send out information to your contacts and prospects as well. We'll also be going through some different items through the profile tabs, such as My Site Settings, explain, of course, the team access that are available to you guys as well. So we'll get straight to the meat and potatoes. When you first log into your website on a daily basis or however many times per day, you're going to be taken to, of course, your Nu Skin Online Prospecting dashboard. It's going to present you with, of course, this first panel right here that says Start Building My Business. It's going to ask you to complete one of these items up to 5 times a day or a culmination of 5 different items in one day. The reason being is we want to help, of course, prod you guys in the right direction to know that you should be sending information out on a daily basis to your contacts and prospects. This system will kind of help you, of course, keep that site and that goal in mind as you check off things throughout the day as far as adding new contacts, sending presentations, sending videos, putting social posts out on Twitter or Facebook or LinkedIn, sending out directional emails straight to your prospects' inbox, creating QR codes or labels for your guys' marketing materials like books, brochures, and DVDs. We've also got a quick links bar over here that'll take you straight to viewing your entire contacts list. You can go in to create a new presentation if you guys need to, and then you've also got an option to go see which different sites you have, which we'll be looking at the different URLs that are provided to you as a part of this back office. And then down here we can see that the site setup is going to let me know exactly what's going on with the process or if my profile is completed as of yet. As you can see, I've got my display information and I've also got email server settings kind of in place, but I don't have a profile photo that's been uploaded. I haven't authorized or put any links to my social networks in, and I haven't set up any notifications for the system to let me know, which is all information that we're going to be going through step by step this morning to ensure that you guys know how to set this up completely. The first thing that we'll be looking at, of course, in week 1 is the profile tab itself, which is up in the upper right-hand corner. The first option that we're going to click on is My Profile. Once we're in the profile, you're going to be defaulted on the left-hand side to the personal information here. This is going to be information that, of course, Nu Skin Corporate's going to use to contact you guys should there be any reason to about your accounts or anything like that. The information is kept private and confidential, so if there's separate phone numbers and email addresses that you guys use for business only, separate from what you give to, of course, prospects to contact you at, this is where you would put that information. The next one is username/password. To change the username for your website addresses or the password, you'll have to contact corporate offices to do so. They'll be more than happy to give you a hand with that. But more importantly, this page also shows me what URLs are available to me to give out to my prospects. As many of you are aware, you have not only a products website, but you have an opportunity-themed website as well. So the username that I've chosen for the account I've created fresh this morning is Joe User. In this case, that username affects my website addresses because my first website address is this one right here, my products website, and that's my joeuser.nsproducts.com. So it'd follow the same format for your guys' username. It'd be username dot and then nsopportunity.com, or again, username.nsproducts.com. That's, again, the website addresses that you'll be handing out to your prospects or your contacts to come view information about the Nu Skin difference, the product lines, the opportunities that are available as well. The next option, real quickly, is just your guys' billing information area. This isn't necessarily applicable to you unless you want to purchase a premium service known as Google Analytics. Google Analytics we'll talk about more in just a little bit. It's an additional service that you can use for tracking information and to track your referrals, where your visitors are coming from on the Internet. Going back into the email server settings, I want to talk just a couple of moments about this. The email server settings is bar none the most important part of your guys' back office. The reason being is these settings are absolutely responsible for making sure that anything that you want to mail out, whether that be manually or automatically through an autoresponder trigger, goes out and gets delivered to the recipients. Without this being configured, no information is leaving this back office. So you can see in the username field what I have there is my email address, and this happens to be my Gmail account. So the same thing follows suit for you guys. Username field most likely needs to be your full and complete email address. That could be with AOL, Gmail, Yahoo, Charter, Cox. It doesn't necessarily matter. Most people will, of course, be able to have one of these email providers. In the password field, what we need is the password specifically to access that email account. This may or may not be the same password that you have for any of your other Nu Skin logins. Like I said, it's rather the password that gives you the access in either your web browser or your desktop email clients to check this email's messages. In the email provider list, you can look for the pre-configured email providers. In this case, I have Gmail. Now, if you have an email provider that you're wishing to use and they are not in this list, we do, have some options available for you guys, which is through the manually configure your SMTP settings. Once you pick this particular option, it's going to ask you for 3 different key pieces of information that your email provider or customer service representatives for those accounts would be able to help you obtain those settings. The first of which that we need to know is what type of encryption is your email provider using. A lot of times you're most commonly going to see none or what we call SSL or secure socket layers. There's some providers out there that do use TLS or Start TLS, so if you hear those terms when asking about the encryption, we can use those as well. The host is actually where does this actual mail server reside on the internet. You may see some things like if you're, for instance, through GoDaddy or have one of their accounts, it'd be smtp.out.secureserver.net. And that's basically what a host address is going to look like. A lot of times it will include the words SMTP in the address. Sometimes it won't, depending on who the provider is. But you'll just want to ensure when you're speaking to the representative that it's the host address for your outgoing server. The last third piece of information we need to configure these manually is what communication port number is your email service provider using. In this case, you're going to hear answers such as port 25, port 26, port 465, 587, 993, 9080, and a lot of different port numbers. So if they give you one of those, we can plug in that information and hopefully get these to work. Again, if you guys have issues with this, please contact your technical support representatives so they're able to assist you with configuring these correctly. A lot of the technicians are already aware of course, some of the pitfalls or some of the secondary steps that some of the email providers will put you guys through to set up your, of course, SMTP relays in this fashion. So in this case, since I do have Gmail pre-configured, I'm just going to select them again, and I'm going to save my email server settings. I'm going to go back to that page real quick, and then we're going to send out a test email real quick. This test email is going to let us know whether or not we're configured correctly. And as we can see, I purposely did not type in my password correctly because I wanted to show you what an error message looks like when it pops up. As we can see, the error was sending out the test email. It expected a code 235, but had this answer. And as you can see, the actual issue is Gmail is telling me that I need to log into this particular page because I'm not using the correct password, which I did on purpose. So if you guys happen to get this particular error message, no matter what it says as far as the codes, but got a code, you want to contact your technical support representative so they can help you troubleshoot this issue to get this important part of the system set up correctly. So in this case, we're going to go ahead and put in, of course, the information right. We're going to go ahead and save the information again, and I'll show you what a correct page looks like. We'll go ahead and do this. Refresh. And we're going to try to send out the test email again. And I don't have my emails up, but that was successful because I did not get the red error message to pop up that time. The next item I want to talk about in your guys' profile real quick is actually going to be your social networks, which is another very important aspect of you guys setting up your system. We have some very special tools that are available to you guys that we're going to get very heavy into week 3. So again, we'll be recording these sessions, and we definitely want you to, of course, attend every week because there's just so much information that's valuable to you guys. In the social networks area, though, on your profile, we give you the opportunity to authorize a couple of applications to work with your Twitter and your Facebook social networks. The purpose of these applications is to basically auto-post information or updates to these particular social feeds, so that way you can begin to draw traffic from those social networks back to your course opportunity or your NS Products websites. Once you do that, it of course gives you the ability to hopefully market to their social network friends as well. It's also another important step behind, of course, the major social networks, which we'll get into in just a moment. To authorize one of the applications, what you'll need to do is just simply click on the Authorize button, and it should take you over to, of course, the Facebook page to log in. In this case, what I'm going to go ahead and do is, of course, type in my information to get into my Facebook account. Then it's going to pop up and ask you, the My Nu Skin application would like to receive the following information to your public profile, your friends list, and of course your photos. You're going to tell it it's A-OK. It's also going to say, hey, I'd like to be able to post to your friends on your behalf, which means it's going to post updates to, of course, your Facebook wall that only your friends can see. Now, if you want to, of course, open that up to public, you can change this little window right here and change it to either friends of friends too. You can change it to public so anybody on Facebook can see it. It's just whatever your guys' privacy needs are. So in this case, I'm just going to leave it at the default friends and click OK. And that's going to let us know that the Facebook authentication's been set up, which is just awesome. So we can refresh this page, and you'll notice that my buttons have been changed. So let me get back into the system real quick. You guys won't be logging in this way. I just don't have a corporate back office, so just bear with me one moment. All right, so we're back in here. So again, the social networks, as you can see, I now have a Send Test Post button and a Deauthorize button. You can also do the same, very same thing for Twitter. You just click on the Authorize button. It's going to ask you to log in, authorize the application, go through a couple of steps that ask you, do you want the application to be able to post to Twitter on your behalf? And the reason why you want to do this is because the way that social networks work, and we'll go into more depth and detail about this in week 3, but anytime that you post something on these social networking pages, you're giving somebody the opportunity that's on your friends list or that's following you on Twitter the opportunity to interact with that item. In Facebook's case, they could like it, they can comment on it, they can share it themselves in a manner of different ways as far as sharing is concerned. When they take that action, depending on their default privacy settings, their entire friends list can see that action as well, giving them the opportunity to also interact with that. So just a real basic, of course, mathematical way to look at it is if you had 10 friends on Facebook and each one of the 10 friends had 10 friends themselves, one post to your Facebook page has the potential to reach all 100 of those people. So as we can all tell, there's more than 10 friends on most people's Facebook pages. Their friends most likely have more than 10 friends. So the opportunity, of course, for some of these items to go quote-unquote viral is very, very great. The major social networks area underneath here I want to talk about real quickly for your guys' profile setup is any of the email messages that you send out from the back office can contain a social networking icon that the recipient will be able to click on and come to your Facebook page or your Twitter page or your LinkedIn page. And the reason you would want to do this is you may not have some of your prospects or contacts in your social networks or in your circles already. And if that's the case, you're missing out on being able to possibly interact with everybody that they know as well. So that's why we kind of have it from both sides of the rainbow, is we want you to be able to post information on the social networks so the people that are already on your Facebook pages are sharing that information, hopefully bringing you new prospects and leads, and then also any of the information that you could be potentially sending out in emails to cold contacts could also visit your social networks and then become a friend or follow you on those as well. So of course you can see in the username fields what you just want to do is you can click inside each one of these. It's going to tell you specifically what information we need. In the Facebook case, what we would do is type in your Facebook username, which in my case is lee.mckenna.359. And then I would save that information. And then anytime I send out an email, one of my recipients would be able to click on the little blue Facebook icon that they see in their email, and that's going to take them straight to my Facebook page. And depending on my privacy settings, they'll be able to see the posts that I've already put on there through the applications. They'll be able to see people that have been interacting with the content that I've been posting about Nu Skin opportunities or product lines. So it's very, very helpful to, of course, set these up. Same thing with LinkedIn. You would just click inside the box, do what the box is telling you as far as going in and customizing your public profile URLs. Same thing for Twitter. It tells you need to go into your account settings and look for your username for Twitter. And that takes care of your social network setup for, of course, the profile. The next thing that we're going to be looking at this morning is also under my profile, but this time we're going to be looking at the site settings. What type of options do I have available to me to interact with the different information that's available on my website to my contacts and visitors? The first bit of information that you're going to notice is on website display. Website display information is everything that is displayed to your contacts and prospects for them to get in contact with you guys. This would include your guys' personal phone numbers, your email addresses that you want to be contacted at, and then certainly in the username or the name field, you can put in a team name, you can put in your business name, you can put in just yourself. If you guys are working with significant others, you can put their names in there as well if you guys are working it as a team. And then real quickly about the user type is we have a single user and a multiple users or group distributors. The difference between these two, it doesn't give you any additional logins or other back offices for, of course, your partners or your significant others to use. But what it does is it changes the verbiage that's used on your front-end websites that your contacts and prospects will be visiting. If you leave it at single user, it's going to be using terms such as I, mine, and me, whereas if you were to use multiple users or groups distributors, it'll change those I's, mines, and me's into we, us, and ours. So it just kind of helps to note that there's more than one person involved in the prospecting process. We also provide for you guys a little quick area for you to put in your information or your experiences, a little small bio, if you will. You can let them know, your success with working with Nu Skin, with your team leaders, with your downlines. You can let them know about your fantastic experiences with the different product lines. Anything necessarily that you guys feel that would be beneficial or applicable to helping you, of course, prospect could go in this potential box. We also give you guys the opportunity to upload a picture. You just basically click on the upload picture button and you can come over here and click the browse. Now depending on what browser you use, it could say choose file, it could say browse, it could say open, any number of things. In this case I'm on Firefox, so it's pulling it up this way. The first thing that we want to look at is I want to bring in, of course, a picture. So I'm just going to choose one at random and open it up and show you guys what it looks like when we go to upload the picture. It's got my Dream Chaser shuttle right there, so I'm going to click Upload, and it's going to take me to my Crop and Save page. So the Crop and Save is a real easy drag and drop, and of course, moving the actual crop image around the page if you need to. So you can stretch that out as much as you need to. In this case, I want to get most of the shuttle picture. We're going to click Crop and Save. As you click Crop and Save, it's going to put that, and then this picture is going to appear next to your contact information in the upper right-hand corners of both your NS Products and your NS Opportunity website. So if you want to, of course, to show your beautiful smiles, feel free to do so through this feature. The next thing I want to talk to you guys real quickly about is your actual autoresponder triggers. What helps you automatically follow up with any of the visitors that have come to your websites? As you can see, we've got some lead capture page triggers that are associated not only with your Nu Skin Products website, but also with the Nu Skin Opportunity websites as well. You can choose, of course, between any of the predetermined or global campaigns that we provide for you to automatically kick off. And what these particular two triggers mean is if I come through one of your guys' websites, I register through your guys' lead capture page. I submit my first name, my last name, my email address, maybe phone number and mailing address as well. In 4 days, it's automatically going to put me onto the ageLOC product campaign. If I came through the Nu Skin Opportunity site and did that very same registration with my contact info, it's going to put me 4 days later onto the Opportunity campaign. The other one I want to talk about real quickly is the conditional ones, which are very beneficial to you guys to know what's going on with the information that you're sending out and whether it's too soon or not too soon to contact somebody back. The first conditional one is if you send out a presentation to somebody and they don't watch it within these 4 trigger days. So if you send me out a video or a PDF or a web page link and I have not viewed that information within 4 days, you can choose one of the presentations that are available to us or create your own and essentially have that automatic response go out. You know, in some cases you might want to use something along the lines like, hey, I know our time is valuable. You may have not had a chance to look at all the information that I've sent you. You know, there certainly is a lot of it, but here's a quick video that I think will summarize a lot of what we, you know, want to discuss with you. The other, of course, you know, side of that same coin is a contact does watch a presentation within those first 4 days. You could use our watched presentation, of course, autoresponder, or you can choose to create your own and take it from approach of, you know, thank you for visiting my website. You know, I saw you looked at this specific information or these different products. If there's any questions or concerns that you have, you know, here's my contact information. Please get in touch with me, or let's schedule a time that where we can get together and talk about the business or the products. The trigger days you can actually set anywhere from 1 day all the way out to 4 days. Just by default, it's set to 4 days for you guys, but we give you the customization to choose anywhere between 1 and 30 days for these items to trigger. After you make any changes to, of course, the triggers themselves and which campaign is associated to that action being met and your trigger after days, you'll just click the Save button. The next item we'll be talking about is your notifications, which is certainly important because it lets you know what's going on with your website as far as whether somebody's viewed a custom presentation, whether somebody's registered on your lead capture page, whether they've returned to the website on an additional visit, or they request more information, which a lot of visitors will end up doing on your guys' websites. In this case, we can send you the notifications out by email address. So in this case, we're going to send the notifications over to my Gmail. And then I'm going to select which actions do I want those to go to. So I want to be notified about any one of these actions by email every single time that one of them happens. And we give you the opportunity to have the notifications delivered to multiple email addresses so that way you're not missing any notifications. As you can see, like I said, custom presentations viewed. As soon as somebody opens up one of your content emails, they click on the content that's provided inside the email, they're going to be taken to your website to view that information. That counts as a custom presentation being viewed. A contact registering on that lead capture page is the same as them submitting their contact information. Contact returns to the website. We know that they've already been there before. Where this would be helpful is if one of your contacts or prospects, you know, lets you know they just need a little bit of time to themselves to think about it, or, you know, to do a little bit more digging on their own. If you notice that they've come back to the website, that could be your, you know, foot in the door to be like, hey, I noticed you came back to the website. Did you have any further questions, or, you know, what can I help you with, kind of ordeal. Of course, lastly, more info requests. Anytime somebody's asking for more information, you do not want to delay in getting it into their hands, because every second that you delay, you're letting somebody else have the opportunity to either get that information into their hands or a completely different set of information that pulls them away from what you're prospecting them for. So definitely using this is going to be, of course, to your advantage. We can also put in a way to email your guys' text or email your cell phones through a text message as well, which in this case you would need to find out what your SMS email address is. In most cases, as you can see in our example right here, it tells us that our email address is actually the 801-225-9520 at text.att.net. So if you guys are on AT&T, Sprint, T-Mobile, any of the other providers, all providers have an SMS gateway. You'll just need to contact them and ask them, hey, what's my SMS email address? They'll be able to provide that for you, and then you can put that information in here. Like, for instance, mine for my cell phone is Sprint messaging, PCS.com. And that's basically what you'd put in to send out an email address to my Sprint phone. After you've got those settings in place, you, of course, know to just click on the Save Notifications, and that gets that taken care of for you. The next item I want to talk about in the site settings for you real quickly is the actual lead capture page. This is what's responsible for being able to give you tracking results on your visitors to your website, as well as collecting their contact information so that way you can provide the follow-up. You're not waiting for somebody to build up the interest to contact you. You're able to contact them and qualify them for product or opportunity. So you have the choice of course, turning this on or off as you wish. If you turn it on, no matter what, by default, they're always going to be asked to submit at least their first name, last name, and email address no matter what. Additionally, you can require that the visitors submit their phone numbers and or mailing addresses as well. If you want to, that's just fine. Just in my experiences, you'll probably find that people are A-okay with leaving phone numbers, more apprehensive to submitting, of course, mailing addresses. After you make these changes to offer on, or if you want to require less or more information, just click Save. Again, we got another spot for email server settings. There's about 3 to 4 different spots where you can set these up because they're that important. We want to make them highly accessible to you guys. Again, if you at any time do a save and send test email and for whatever reason you get the error message, you want to contact your technical support representatives for them to help you troubleshoot that issue. Homepage customization is kind of a fun link for you guys. On the front-end websites, you have what we call a Join Now button where one of your visitors can click and, of course, go through and start the sign-up or the purchase process for the Nu Skin products, or, of course, to sign up for the opportunity to become an independent distributor themselves. We give you the capability to manipulate that button itself. You can actually change the button to say something else besides Join Now, or you could have it say something like Learn More, Buy Below Wholesale, and then you can actually link that particular button to an external resource of your guys' choice. Now, where this may come in handy for you is if you've got an external resource such as like a blog where you talk about your experiences with Nu Skin, or you've got a YouTube channel that's got a whole lot of your own personal testimonials about the products or, of course, the opportunities that the company provides. That's all great information that may help, of course, your conversion rates when you're prospecting, of course, your customers and your contacts. So in this case, how that would work is, say, for instance, I don't want them to go immediately into the join or buy now process. I want them to look at more supplemental information. But just as an example, let's say I want that button to say Google. So I can have that button say Google, and I can actually have that button go to google.com every time that somebody clicks on it. So I can, of course, configure this correctly, and that's the link or the website address. You could also, any one of these items that's up in an address bar is a URL, and that's the information that we want in the link box. So if I were to save this information, every time that somebody visited my front-end websites, they see the word Google, they'd be able to click on it. It would take them over to straight to Google's website just like this. And that's what they would be taken to. And like I said, that would be helpful for you guys if you're wanting to use additional resources like blogs, forums, additional, of course, Vimeo, or even YouTube channels that help you guys out with testimonials of either your own or other informational items that you think would be applicable to your prospecting process. After you've got that information there, or if you just want to, of course, not mess with it, you can leave it blank and then not have to save anything. If you have made any changes, be sure to click the Save button, and that'll make that button's changed instantaneous. There's no propagation time to wait. We've also got, of course, the default languages. Now, we, of course, know Nu Skin is pretty much worldwide. They market it in a lot of different territories and countries. For the most part, a lot of distributors are, of course, marketing in English. But as you can see, we've got Chinese, Korean, and Spanish available for you guys to choose from as well. Area of focus, this is a real quick way for you guys to just take a stance and say, I'm only going to be marketing the Nu Skin products, or right now I've got, of course, enough people into the products, I only want to be marketing the Nu Skin opportunity. And if that's the case, you can basically set that area of focus, and then every piece of email that you send out is going to be set to that particular template or flavor, if you will. So if you're sending out information that has product videos in it, but you have your default area of focus set to opportunity, the email may not make sense because the pictures and images all look like things to do with opportunities in getting started in their own business versus the actual product videos that you've linked inside the email. For those of you guys who are new to the system and don't necessarily want to pigeonhole yourself into one aspect of the business or the other, you just want to leave that as no default, and then what happens is each person that comes to each individual website will set their own area of focus based on what domain they visited. So any visitors to your products website will be set to an area of focus of products. Any visitors that go to your opportunity website will be set as area of focus of opportunity, and they'll get those proper emails that way. That's basically going to take you through and, of course, show you guys how to set up the profile. Again, just a real quick recap before we talk about the team access to close out the call this morning, is what we're looking at on the personal information is, again, information that we use to contact you. Username and password is a great area if you need to remember what your website addresses are to hand out to your contacts and prospects. Email server settings, again, super, super important. Make sure that these are configured correctly. If at any point, again, if you're having issues or frustrations or difficulties, contact a technical support representative, and we'll make sure that we get you taken care of. The other item, again, that we looked at is just basically setting up your usernames and your authorizations, again, for your social networking pages. We've got the automatic applications, again, for Twitter and Facebook, and then we've got the social media icons that you can program for the top 3, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook, and then the additional networks, as you guys can see. We've got things like Pinterest, we've got Gmail, YouTube channels you can put in there as well. So a lot of different things you can set up through the social networks. And then we also looked real quickly at the MiteSite settings, which allowed us to configure what information is one of the visitors to my website going to use to contact me. We've looked at our autoresponder triggers, what is responsible for sending out a campaign automatically based on an action or an event happening. The next thing, of course, was the notifications that we set up. Also talked about our lead capture pages, turning them off and on, and what information is, of course, gathered at that point. Again, another area for those email server settings. We talked real quickly about the Join Now button. We've also got the languages area of focus that we just talked about as well. If you guys need any more information on these particular aspects that we've already talked about, please contact one of your support representatives. I'm sure they'll be more than happy to give you more information on a one-on-one basis to, of course, get you educated in some of these aspects and features. The last thing that we're going to be talking about in, of course, the Profile tab, because Products and Services is only going to have one thing available to you, which is Google Analytics tracking, and we can just spend a real quick minute on talking about this. Google Analytics tracking, like I had mentioned at the beginning, is an additional premium service that you can purchase for a one-time $9.99. What this allows you to do is to hook up one of your Google Analytics accounts to, of course, your websites. What this is going to allow you to do is to see where your visitors are coming from. So if you're spending a lot of time marketing and putting information out on your social networks, it'd be nice to see if all that, of course, labor is actually coming to fruit by being able to see the tracking results and seeing, okay, I had this many visitors hit my NS Products or my NS Opportunity websites via Facebook this week or this month or for the last 6 months. And it'll kind of help you give you a clearer picture to see where you may need to spend more effort and, putting the information out there for your websites and, YouTube, forums, blogs, whatever, and then also show you whether or not you need to back off. If you're spending a lot of time putting information on Facebook and you go to check a month later and you're just not getting that many hits, that means the information that you're putting on Facebook, people just aren't necessarily, using or clicking on to come to your website. And you can know that, hey, maybe I need to back off of that and go look for a different avenue to, of course, get the information out to people I wish to work with. So that's real quickly, and then as far as getting the analytics ID, if you purchase this for the $10, we don't provide the ID. You'll still need to go to google.com/analytics to get your ID. If you already have a Gmail account, you can sign in with that, and the registration process is pretty quick to get your analytics ID. Once you get that ID, contact a support representative, and they'll help you get that included into your system. The last thing that we're going to talk about, of course, as far as the profiles before we'll end week one's phone call this morning, is we're looking at Team Access. Team Access is a brand new feature that we've released just a number of weeks ago, and we want to give you guys more information on how to use this and how beneficial it is to you guys. Now, some of you that may be on the phone call with us this morning may already be team leaders, or you've got a significantly sized, downline, and you want to be able to share some of the information that you find successful or that has helped you become successful to your team, basically as, hey, this autoresponder has helped me out, or this email script has helped me out, or use this particular style presentation because it captures the person's attention quicker. So by setting up a team access code, you can actually set what information that one of your downline has access to. So in this case, if I were to make a team name basically named McKenna, and I save that code, I could give that code to somebody and they could actually join my team, and that's going to give them access to all my digital media that I've set up that's been custom. So that's going to include any of course, the custom presentations that I've set up. It's going to include any of the custom autoresponders, and lastly, all the custom email scripts that I've created. And it's going to make it available to them, so that way you guys don't have to go outside the system, copy and paste a bunch of information, email it around, tell them that you need to go through these steps to create it, use this. No, we've developed a way for you guys to quickly access your team members' of course, information as far as custom content. Again, super easy as far as that. You can create your own team codes. I'll go ahead and make mine McKenna right now and save that. So I can hand that out to everybody, and then if I were to go in here, like I said, and create my own custom email script, which I'll show you real quickly, we're going to just add one, and we'll close out the call here in just a couple minutes. So we're just going to do this as test one. We're going to put test one as the subject line and test one as the body of the email itself. If I save this script, if I give that McKenna team name to any of my downline, they're not going to have access to that very same test script that I just made. So as you can see, it helps you guys be able to provide an easier way for you to train your downlines, especially if you guys have developed information or a specific approach that you find is highly successful, with the people you interact with on a daily basis, your friends, families, colleagues. It's very helpful to get that information out to somebody in your downline, because they don't need to struggle with what information do I need to send out to somebody I'm new. I don't know what information I need to be talking about or what products I need to be talking about. I don't know what opportunity or which way to approach it. So the team access gives you that capability to make it easier to, of course, provide the information that you're already using to your downline so they can use it to help you be more successful as they are becoming successful. So as I said, that's going to basically close out our week one phone call. Again, just a real quick recap is we've gone through our profile tab over here. We've gone through each one of the profile settings. Again, I'll show you guys real quickly. Profile, we talked about personal information, usernames and passwords. We showed you your billing information to, of course, put that in to be able to purchase the analytics that we just talked about. You've also got those ever-important email server settings. Again, I cannot stress enough, if you're having any problems or you just can't get it configured, contact a technical support representative and we'll get this, of course, set up for you guys. The other thing is, of course, those social networks, ever important just because of the way that it's kind of, blown out of control with being able to send information out, have things go viral, have people share information. It gets the word out there quickly. We also went over, of course, some of the site settings. In the site settings, we also looked at what information is available to your contacts and prospects to get in contact with you, such as phone numbers and email addresses. We talked about your autoresponder triggers, notifications, reasons why we would notify you about actions that are happening on your websites, turning on and off those lead capture pages. Again, the email server settings are also in my site settings. Homepage customization links, in case, like I said, you instead of letting them go straight into the sign-up or the purchase process, you can show them additional information if you want to through the use of YouTube channels, blogs, forums, any supplemental information that's applicable to your guys' prospecting process. Again, real quickly, English languages, what is your website going to show up in? Area of focuses, are you going to be focusing more on products or opportunity, or do you want to, of course, just be default and be able to go both sides? Then we also looked at, of course, the products and services, which in your guys' case is just the Google Analytics. And then lastly, the team access that we talked about. If you have any questions, of course, please get in contact with your technical support representatives about each one of the items that we've talked about this morning. They're thoroughly trained in each one of the aspects of course, the websites and to get you guys the help and the answers to the questions that you guys may have.